Hey now, all you sinners, put your lights on, put your lights on. Hey now, all you lovers, put your lights on, put your lights on. Hey now, all you killers, put your lights on, put your lights on. Here now, all you children, leave your lights on, leave your lights on, 'cause there's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel with a hand on my ear. She say I got nothing to fear. There's a darkness that's living deep in my soul. Still got a purpose to serve. Light shine deep into my hole. God, don't let me lose my nerve. Don't let me lose my nerve. Now, all you sinners, put your lights on, put your lights on. Here now, all you children, leave your lights on, leave your lights on. There's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel with a hand on my head. She say I got nothing to fear. She said stars. La, la, la. Shine like stars, yes we do.
And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. Hold on here. All right, had a little echo going on. New camera, had the mic on it, turned off now. It's Michael, your deplorable patriot, here for Friday morning. It's the Friday morning traffic jam. I'm just joking. All right, now we got Woodman in this beaming in here. He'll be on in a second. Folks, I hope you just wanted to come on. I saw Danielle. I know she's a mod for the channel. She lives down in Florida. We want to send prayers and hope everyone down there, if you need to evacuate, if they're given the order, possibly if you can, get out of there. No need to try to battle a Mother Nature, basically, if that's the case, all right? Is it a deep state storm? I don't know. I haven't confirmed all that yet. Okay, so, again, let's, if you're new to the channel here at the Patriot Tech, make sure you're subscribed. Where we go live. Woodman, brother.
Airborne all the way, Patriots.
Yes. What is going on with Woodman?
Little coffee time, little coffee time.
Yes. Same here, brother. Doing the same thing.
Nice show last night, Mike. Beautiful intro, by the way. I just think that's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let me see.
It's your talent, not mine. It's only my ears. It's your talent.
I'm gonna make this too. Why does it do that to me? Why? All right, give me a minute here. Morning face. I need that to be 1, that to be 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Okay. Let's see if that sits for a minute.
Got her up?
Maybe. Seems like
Alrighty.
it does funny stuff that I can't explain.
Made in China. It's made in China.
It's made in China. No, this, I don't know. I'm just having a little weirdness, but we'll see. All right. So, Woodman, what is going on with, in your neck of the woods? What have you been looking at? What have you been seeing? Did you see anything on the IG on Comey yesterday that he was found guilty of leaking classified, but the DOJ decided not to charge him? That's kind of crazy.
Well, it seems to me that if they're doing that, they must have some. I hope they have another angle that they're looking at. In other words, like, okay, here when you're fishing, you throw the little ones back. You want the big fish, So maybe I'm hoping that's what they're doing, because otherwise, my faith in government just keeps going downward. If that you or I done anything remotely close to that, I'd never see the end of the day. They'd probably go ahead and kill me. I mean, hang me or whatever, shoot me, firing squad. I mean, seriously, this is real serious stuff, people. And the Dems, I should say, I don't mean the Dems, the deep state. The deep state is so entwined. Yeah, but it's so entwined that, that's like I was saying earlier to somebody. It's almost like you got to find somebody willing to cut their right arm off, because they're all intertwined. And if they really do prosecute like they're supposed to, that means they're doing it to their friends. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like I say, you got to find somebody willing to cut your right arm off to actually get the right thing done, and right now it looks like we don't have anybody. I really had a lot of faith in Barr. I just don't. I'm lacking my faith now. It keeps going down to, doggone it, we need to do something. I wish I could just do it myself,
Well, like I was saying, none of us on the outside of this truly know the angles. I mean, the government's good at like when they took down the mob, you always infiltrate and then you get somebody to talk. That's the best way. You're going to get one mid-level, high-level, somebody to sign paper and start giving you everything. They're wearing the wire. They're feeding you information day after day, week after week. So if you find all this entangledness in the government and you come in as Trump, like we know, and it's nothing to do with Trump, but there's laws and stuff set into place in the books. If you look, if you're the president, you come in and you find the heads of agencies to be corrupt, to be on the take, anything that you found bad. And if it's the heads of the agencies, you can't really get much done with the agency as far as like, putting in paperwork. So you need to shut them down. You actually have the right to shut them down. Now, the other angle would be to keep them open and to do what they're doing, expose it slowly. That's why we saw the heads, the Comey, McCabe, Stroke, all these people, Loretta Lynch, all these people step down, leave, fire, whether it was on their own behalf or get removed or get fired or quit. I mean, there's many different angles for each and every one of the people. But at the end of all this, we might find out, like Comey might have done some bad things. I'm not saying he didn't. Pretty much probably sure he did. But maybe he's the one working. The angle was to keep coming out, keep talking crap. Everybody thinks he's against Trump, but at the end, it might be just one of the players that was actually for Trump or helping expose the crooked. Did everyone think, even on the deep state side, that Comey was going down? Then they get this thing yesterday. It says they're not going to charge him, and they're all like, what the hell? I thought he was going to be the one to get charged for all that. That means one of us are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Nobody can be charged for his leaking. I mean, now that might just, again, that's only like a 3-year crime, 3 years, maybe a couple years probation. Maybe in the bigger scheme of things, they're like, well, we got him over here on treason charges. That carries this. We got him over here on the. I mean, the guy's already serving life. This would be redundant paperwork for a 2-year crime. It's the lowest level one out of everything we got on him. Let's publicly come out and say we're not charging him. And then he'll talk crap like he did. Like he's like, on Twitter, I don't really demand an apology from everybody. But if people can, message me and just say, hey, man, we were wrong, it would be great. I mean, that's what he said. And it's like, nobody was wrong. The paperwork says, and everyone's breaking it down, that you did commit crimes. They decided not to charge you. The same thing you did for Hillary. She committed crimes. You decided not to charge her.
Right.
Hell, you got the opposite going on with Trump. 2-year investigation, no crime found, but you're still, Comey, going around saying, well, I think he did something. But there's actually no crime found. For yours, there is a crime found. People just didn't charge you. And you want an apology for not getting charged? It's the equivalent of murder, and you got away with it. So it's hilarious.
I saw that also. Yeah, I saw that also. That was crazy, man. These people are it just goes to show you that they're not anywhere close to being normal in any way, shape, or form. They're distorted so bad, Holy cow.
No, I agree.
All I got to say is God bless President Trump, because he has got a rough road to go, buddy. I'm telling you, and he's been doing a fantastic job. I said it before. I really think President Trump looks at this as a challenge. I really, really do, because he likes to win. And I really think this is he looks at it like it's a challenge, people, I think. And he just he just gobbles that crap right up, man. And the way he does things, he tweets things and before it gets all garbled up, I have a lot of faith in our president. That's all I got to say. I haven't had faith in our president since JFK. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, it's
I got the hat on. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to go, 2020.
All you have to do, folks, regardless of any shows, the Patriot Hour, any pundit, any CNN, Fox News, all of that. You just can do your own research and physically see what Trump has done, which is more than most other presidents ever done in their whole 8 years. I mean, there's always been the talk, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Lots of presidents in the past are like, we're going to lower taxes for you. Well, that just means they're going to raise it for somebody else or something else. Because when you need 100% of taxes, like you just can say 100% is what the government needs to take in. When they would play the game of one person getting up and saying, we're going to do this, we're going to lower it for the lower class, poorer people and raise it a little for the rich. See, they just kind of ebb and flow with who they're getting the money from. The pot stays the same. We're going to make 2% less for you, but we're going to raise 2% on them. And then everyone's like, yeah. But, it's just moving numbers. It's semantics. It's trickery. But when you come in and you do things like, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you're physically knocking them out, starting them one by one. Things have been, I'm not saying everything. And that's what people are going to hold on to on the other side is, oh, he never did this. And like the one thing was like, well, look at look at Obama. He 5 big promises or 4 big ones. Didn't do shut down Gitmo, stop all wars, do this. I mean, no. He talked about healthcare, but that was a joke as well. You're going to be able to keep this. You're going to be able to do that. Oh, this will never do this. This will never cost you more than blah, blah, blah. And it ended up being all wrong other than the fact that he did it, which was like the one little promise. But turned out to be unconstitutional as well. So, all right. Yeah, all that is something else funny, So I've been looking into this and I came across something. They talked about the wall, and I need to find this, but they did talk about if you look at each piece of the wall and how the shape is on it, and it comes to a peak, and then it's almost like it's going to deflect. Somebody was talking about we know I did a video on this 8 months ago, Trump and Tesla connection. Trump's uncle John Trump, who got called in when Tesla died by the government to make heads or tails of all the paperwork that the government didn't know what the hell they were looking at because they weren't very smart. So they bring in John Trump to make heads or tails of this, and then we believe that they used John Trump to come out publicly and say, there's nothing here, nothing to see here, which there was a whole bunch of great stuff to see. Now, we don't know if John Trump somehow made copies or kept some of that, gave the government false information back then so things wouldn't really work, like kept out one key component. Oh, what you need to do here and what Tesla was trying to say was this, and then you give them bull crap, they do it, doesn't work. I don't know. But this little thing I came across, and I got to do some more digging, talks about the fence, to look at it, and to look at each piece coming in, that it's strategically built. It has to be placed by the Department Corps of Engineers, by the way. And that these pieces are, the way that they're shaped is something to do with Tesla technology. And it could be a barrier wall of the impenetrable forces once they flip a switch. I don't know. Or you don't have any switch. The way that Tesla designed this is just you put these pieces of metal in a certain shape next to each other, with a peak at the top that I don't know, but they were talking about an EMP, an electronic magnetic pulse bomb that goes off and zaps electricity out of the U.S., takes out the eastern seaboard. I don't know. That this wall, now again, this wall's down on the southern border. I don't know what it would have to do with something going off in New York. We got a wall way down here, or if this is how it works once you fire this thing up. But they're talking about this could be right under our noses, something to do with John Trump / Tesla / Trump connection. The wall is an impenetrable wall of force, an invisible beam of sorts to either stop, thwart a EMP attack here in the United States or other things. I don't know, but interesting, right? Interesting.
It sure is.
So what do you guys think out there on that? I don't know.
Well, as soon as you find out, Mike, give me a shout out. I want to hear more about that. That's fantastic. I can see it happening. By the way, I checked into a little bit of that Tulsa stuff for a long time ago. This man was nothing but a genius when it comes to producing electricity from natural resources. The energy that he just, he found a way to control energy.
Yeah.
Not with the telephone pole and wires. It had nothing to do with any kind of wire at all. That was the neatest part, and it was going to be free service. The only cost you have is the initial setup of the apparatus, whatever that be. Is that
Yeah,
what you
the
found
hardware.
out?
You got to buy the hardware the first time or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was stuff in your basements made up of rare earth metals that you'd put in, and things would spin for 100 years. You wouldn't, to generate power for your own house. The powers that be didn't want stuff like that. They wanted to sell you the coal or the oil for forever, week after week after day. Not a one time, do this and you're good to go. That doesn't work for somebody that wants to. That's why there's no cures in medicine. It's always, here's a pill, you need to take this once a day for the rest of your life. Boom, they're the drug dealer to you now. Now all of a sudden they become the drug dealer. While they rent all the drug dealers off out of the streets, they become that. They get rid of the mob, they become that. That's
Yep.
That's how it typically works, folks. So no, Woodman's right there. This guy was a genius when it came. He talked about grabbing power. There's power up in the stratosphere just bouncing around. We can harness that, bring it back here, and then deliver it to houses. Wi-Fi that we have today, the way your phones connect off of these routers and that's Tesla technology. Everything, folks, has been slow released, captured, the paperwork given out. If you look into now, it's like they pick and choose the government with these patents, and it's always people within the service, high-ranking officers that end up getting the award for Wi-Fi. And you look into it, it's like, oh, an intelligent, naval scientist did this, and they came. It's like, they are basically granting, like we said, like with Facebook, if it really was a CIA operative program, that means somebody went to this Zuckerberg in college and was like, hey, you can be the poster boy for this thing called Facebook. And, and it's like, there you go. There's the guy they put in place to look like the guy that came up with it all, but it's really the CIA behind him. And it was a whole thing to collect everybody. I mean, they used to have to get go to court and get warrants to be able to get the information that you guys and everybody gives out for free now on Facebook. I mean, hell, even in the 80s, your parents were smart enough to be like, okay, on our answer machine, we're just going to say we cannot come to the phone right now, and it's like, well, why? We're not home right now. My dad would be like, no, you don't want to say you're not home right now. That way when somebody calls, you're telling them you're not home, and then they come over and rob you. And hell, back then, the only people that called you directly were friends and family that had the number. You might get a wrong call back then, but typically the wrong call, the person didn't know where you lived. Is Jim there? There is no Jim here. Isn't this 555-5554? No, this is 555-5556. Oh, my bad. And that person didn't know who they called. They didn't know, oh, you're not home. So what's the problem with, but that's extra thinking of your parents and people telling you, don't say you're not home. Well, I would be like, well, a random wrong call probably doesn't know where we live, right? Because they accidentally thought they called their friend. Facebook, man, people, you don't have to be friends with them for them to see your stuff. You think oh no, I'm marked private. And there's software out there, folks. Went through security courses back in 2011, and we had experts come in, break things down, and there is Linux-based software where people could run it in your area, and it's going to compile who you're married to, where you work at. It'll give little lines and brackets and just break it down in a hacker type way for somebody to look and be like, okay, this person's at work right now because they posted that they left. Their house is empty because it also says they're married to this person, and this person, they're at work. They checked into work. This person checked into work. I know their house is empty for the next 8 hours. So that's what Facebook does for people that are nefarious and want to use it on, there's multiple different platforms. People are like, that's invasive. It's like, well, how much do you pay for Facebook? Nothing. So, well, therefore, they're not security ridden. They weren't built from the ground up with security in mind when they built Facebook. It's just like everything else that they're jumping into to have smart this and smart that. You can start your car with your phone now, and wow, I love that. And they do that real quick without taking into consideration that maybe somebody else can walk up and start your car with their phone. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought it was just going to work with my phone. It's like, well, all phones are kind of the same, and if you got the right software on it. So they jump into things without thinking everything fully in the sake of quick, fast, move forward, security, or security lacks. They take, they weigh it out. We can make a bunch of money if we do it. And the bad side is, on this hand, it's a hack could happen and their car could get stolen. It's worth it. The same with the banks. If they never would have put money, each step, you got to think back in the 80s. Do we implement computers? Because once we hook this up, people can hack into the bank and take the money. But man, we'll gain so much by letting people access online and do that they weigh they weigh the options, like the positive, how much money it's going to bring, and then the negative. There is the case of this could happen. Man, we're willing to take that risk. It's not our money that's getting hacked. It's going to be somebody out there, their account, and however it works, whatever they come up with. So,
all right.
Or interfere.
Well, I had my bank account cleaned out one time, and I'll tell you what I done. I went into the bank, and anybody can do this. I went into the bank, and I arranged that they have to have some kind of a limit on your card, and so I filled out the paperwork to have the most you could withdraw from my account on any ATM machine or anything comparable is the big zero. Now, and also I got it hooked up to where no bank transactions can be done unless it's face to face. There's times where it kind of hurts me a little bit because you might be on the weekend and need some cash, or in the evening.
So what, you can't get any cash out of your ATM card?
Nope.
So what do you have one for? You have to swipe it? You swipe it and it works?
Well, no, I go in face to face to a bank.
Okay, so you don't even have a card. Oh, you have a card. What's the point of having a card?
I have a card. Well, it's got your information on it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Your account number and stuff.
Right. Gotcha. So that's all I do is
so you didn't walk in and you swipe the card in between the lady's lips or something, and
yeah, man.
I was like, you don't need a card if you're not if you're not swiping it at the store, or you're not getting it out of the the wall or the ATM. You should just be able to go in with your license, and then from that they can look up your name, look up everything, and then give you cash. But yeah, why not hold a card and show it to them? Makes it quicker. Give them the card, give them your ID. They verify your account with your name, and then how much? What cash do you need? Same here. I have mine set up to a low limit, like 400. That way, nobody could ever get more than 400 in one day. Even myself, unless I have to go into the bank. So.
It was very unfortunate because I really think, in all honesty, that a family member got me. But anyway, that's another reason why I had it set up that way. And it can be set up that way.
How did what kind of details did you have on, what the heck?
I don't know. They don't like me.
Oh, that was something from Twitter. So Twitter, if somebody has a big photo, it'll pull it up way above us. That's crazy. What was I saying there, Woodman? You said family member. Now, if they would have got money out at the ATM, it would have shed pictures. There's little photos that take, so they were pretty good at that. Or was it more like
there are certain locations that do not have a camera.
And they knew that? Somebody knew that?
This individual knew that. See, here's a bad thing too. When my wife passed away, this happened shortly after she passed away, and I hadn't went to the bank yet to remove her name off of the account, so her name was still there. Well, this individual, when my wife passed away, since it was his mother, he wanted to know if he could have her personal effects, and I said, well, sure, she's passed away. Your mom, sure, go ahead. Well, I screwed up because then he knew her PIN number. I didn't even know her PIN number. And that's what happened over in a place not too far. I'm not going to mention the place. I don't want anybody else getting ripped off. But the bank recouped my money. They done it on an insurance thing through the bank. But they tried to find out who it was, but at that location there was no camera installed, so they couldn't find out who it was. Now, the reason I say I think it was a family member is because the same family member stayed with his daughter for a while, and she had some kind of paperwork there on a card, and it had like 200 and some odd dollars on it, and this individual cleaned that out also. So I don't,
Wow.
you know, that's why I set it up that way, and anybody can do it. You know, everybody has to have an account card. You have to have something to have proof that you have an account.
Yes.
But mine is being utilized face to face only. That's because I'm not going to go through that again. That's terrible. You know, I live on a fixed income and I don't have any spare money. And for that to happen, you know, it takes your bill money. And when you're in my position, I'm never late on any bill if I can help it. Well, I haven't been, but you know, you never know what's happening in the future. You may have a problem, but I like to pay my bills right on time or before.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just bringing this up as you're talking. This is Dorian.
Okay.
Dorian's path here, folks.
All right. Man, I know poor people in Florida. Oh my Lord, man.
Danielle
You know-
Yelly Bird is down there, one of our mods.
Wow.
She's in the chat right now, but this is look at this. It's right here right now. And
I know,
yeah,
man.
just ripped through the Virgin Islands again. I had been down there, folks. I have been to all 3 Virgin Islands in the Navy. I've been to St. John or St. Croix. My bad, St. Croix, which is more like the nature preserve of the 3 main islands. And then just recently, 2 years ago, I went down to St. Thomas and got over to St. John on a 1-day ferry trip. So I have done, and I got a shirt that says, I've done all 3 virgins. Been there, done that. So, yeah, it went right through, looks like Barbados, St. Lucia, which is a British Virgin Islands. And, oops, I'm on the wrong screen. So then it's ripping on up right here through the... Looks like it kind of missed Puerto Rico and all that
at
this
least it didn't
time.
go. Yeah, at least it didn't go right directly over those islands. But still, it is going right for the Florida coast. And I don't know, but they don't know if it's going to go all the way into the Gulf side or just stay on the eastern seaboard. It's kind of hard to judge, you know.
Yeah, it ripped right through St. Croix, boy. Somebody said crickets. Who's got crickets? Do you got crickets at your house going on, Woodman?
Yeah, but I can't hear them.
I do.
Can you really? Can you really?
Hold on, let me make sure. Yep, because I just turned down my Woodman's microphone 100% and I don't hear crickets. But when I turn it up, you hear them.
I'll be darned. I can't shut them up, people. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize. They're not trained very well.
Tons of cicadas where I'm at. Living in America said, yeah. Crickets. That's funny. So
Well, this is set up in the breezeway, and one door in the back open a lot, and I'm sure they get in that way. But yeah, my fault.
look at this camera angle,
Panoramic
man.
view.
It's such a... again, I got my...
You got the echo again.
Yeah, I got to turn that. Why is that off? Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
You're doing good now.
Let me do... Yeah, no, I turned off. It's I know it right away. I want to
Mr.
turn
Deplorable.
that off. Is that fine now? Is it still good?
Looks good to me.
No echo, I mean.
No echo. You remove the echo as soon as you start messing with it and turn the volume
Yeah, there's
down.
a little audio that keeps clicking on because, you know, the new camera's got audio, of course. But I don't need audio on because I got audio right here in front of me. And if you have like a any one of my cameras have audio. And if you have those audios on with the mic, they're going to grab your audio at different times. Where the mic's right here, the camera's 2 feet away. There'll be a little bit of a delay and echo. So you got to keep all audio off other than on your main mic. Unless your main mic is one of the cameras, and then you'd have that one on. All right. Hold on here, just messing around. Okay, let me look at. I want to look at a few more headlines here, folks, for our morning.
Well, Doug and Becky want to know if we live in Bristol, Indiana. Bristol, Indiana is where the American Legion Post 143
Yes,
is.
we're around that areas, but yeah, that's where. As somebody did ask last night, Bristol, Tennessee. No.
No, they mentioned Bristol, Indiana, but we don't. We just live in neighboring towns. Everybody,
Yeah,
so
that's where the Bristol is where the actual Legion is. That's where the PO box
correct.
is as well. So August. Why I got to echo again?
I don't hear it.
Hello, hello. A little bit.
Well,
I don't know what it's coming
yeah,
out
I
of.
can't hear it, Mike.
All right.
Of course, my hearing is bad anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah, you couldn't hear the cricket.
Well, I have tinnitus real bad, and all I hear is that ringing in my ears. So I hear a word playing somewhere close by. Crickets? No, I wouldn't be able to hear them.
It's funny.
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You guys all think I'm Hickville. Probably, I live in a wooden shack or something.
What were you talking about? L coming on?
Oh, yeah. I want to get this bar that you were talking about, Mike, so I can hook up multiple headsets. Because that way I can have L on the show also. He was only on one or two of them, and that was probably over a year ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So yeah. He, he's. I know he's my son, but he's a very knowledgeable individual, and he has input also that could help out. But I don't have the equipment set up. Listen, people, before Mike conned me into doing this thing at my house, I didn't even know how to turn a computer on or off. And that is a fact. I know everybody else got computers now and all that stuff, but I was old-fashioned, didn't want nothing to do with computers because, in my opinion, a lot of this technology is nothing but pure evil, satanic stuff, and I didn't want any part of it, and then Mike talked me into doing it. So my knowledge of equipment is really bad. I'll be honest with you. I ask Mike everything how to do because I want to make sure I do it the right way. And he showed me what to do so I can go ahead and get that done with L. Or, I could even have more people than that in here. But
we used to live by
thanks a
Perry
lot, Mike.
Central. Do you know that Perry Central High School was? Perry Central?
No, I don't know.
That was Doug and
No,
Becky Bradley. We used to live by Perry Central School. I'm not sure.
wow.
Is that in Bristol? Maybe was that a Bristol school? No?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I've never actually been to the school in Bristol.
Well, the old one I think is the museum. That museum, that's a museum now. That's kind of like the old school or something. Way back in the.
Wow, could be. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with listening to crickets. Somebody said that's funny.
Yeah. At night they can put you to sleep sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. Let me see here. All right. So when I turn down your volume, am I on in your speakers? Or do you have your speakers on, or is it coming out of your headphones?
No, just the headphones only. Once I plug the headphones on, the speakers get eliminated, so I can't hear through them.
Gotcha.
It's all in the headset.
All right. Well, for the first time, I'm getting a little echo back from your feed for some reason. Because when I turn it down, I don't hear myself. So it's almost like, I don't know.
Wow.
It's like it's coming out of the speakers in your room and coming back into your microphone.
Wow.
Never happened before.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever happened to us before. I turn
Can
the
you hear
speakers
now?
clear off. Does that make a difference?
Let me see. No.
I turned the speaker clear off, so you know,
How about that?
I,
There.
if I sound okay, do I
It's
sound
good.
good?
It's just very little. It's just very little. Something's issuey.
Well, sorry about that.
All right.
We'll have to do a double check too when I get this bar and make sure I'm doing it properly. So do a little check on that too, if you don't mind, Michael, Mr. Techo Man.
I'm trying to see if there's a. Hold on.
To respond. We have 12,000 soldiers and airmen in the state, and every one of them that is able and in the state, not deployed, will be ready to step up as needed. In addition, we have emergency management assistance compacts with various states in the southern region especially to be able to fill in any voids that we have or gaps in our formations that might need specialties like aviation, engineering, high water vehicle transportation, and those kinds of things.
And we also, the general's talking with other states. We anticipate getting support from other states. I know I spoke with the governor of Alabama, and she authorized some National Guard personnel from Alabama. So that is ongoing, and I'm sure we will provide those updates once we get them.
Governor,
Yes.
this is just an observation. I noticed there's a lot more FEMA personnel in the EOC, and obviously the trucks that were previously across the street at DFS are now right here in the parking lot. Is this a change on your part with the with the new administration, or is this just happenstance, or is it a new approach? I guess.
I think this is just what we planned, right? Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not exactly familiar in terms of how FEMA did in terms of where they were before I was here, but when we did the hurricane exercise, I mean, this is how we've anticipated it happening. And Jared has developed a really good relationship with folks in FEMA, and they really appreciate all the hard work he's doing. So I think we're on the same page, and I think we'll be able to work constructively together.
Governor, this is your first major hurricane as governor, and I'm wondering if there was much of a learning curve for you going into this, and do you see like your political future sort of tied to how the state performs during this?
I don't view it politically at all. We're trying to protect the state, protect people, and assist these local folks who are out there. They're all activated now as best we could. I grew up in Florida, so I'm not a stranger to hurricanes, and of course we've had a number of active hurricane seasons recently. As a U.S. congressman, we had Hurricane Matthew, where my district was the district that was most affected. Now, granted, that could have been worse than the path that ultimately took. And then obviously Hurricane Irma, that affected almost everybody in the state. And so, I have a lot of experience just understanding kind of how some of the wheels go in motion. And then we've done an awful lot with Hurricane Michael since I've taken office. And so this is something that we didn't want to see hurricane this season. I know Jared and I both did what we thought we could in different respects.
So they're giving some updates there.
Yeah, those poor people. I've been involved in those hurricanes in North Carolina, but holy cow, people, they're really, you can't combat it. That's for sure. The best thing you can do is find high ground and try and batten down the hatches. Because the wind is tremendous, the water coming down is tremendous. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, that Dan Dale guy, he's got a beard like mine.
Does he?
Yeah, I just thought. Crazy. I thought I was the only person done that kind of stuff.
All right, I don't hear no echoing anymore. Is it 5 of 5, everybody? I don't know what was going on there, but the only thing I hear is crickets out of Woodman's, and that's better than hearing liberals cry. So here's a good one I saw. What was it? Delusion. No, it's great. It's fine. It's crickets. Yep, 5 of 5. Watchful Warrior says thank you.
All right.
Jana Brulin, thank you. I got the letter, Jonah and Jeff. Thank you guys so much. I actually need to probably sometime today do an episode on some letters I got to read. So I finally got down. Simone sent some awesome stuff to the channel. Got a couple different letters, folks. So thank you guys again. Links down below for the P.O. Box. All right. Look at a few more articles here. So we're getting the Florida governor gives some storm updates. Try not to avoid that, folks, if you can. Right?
Right. Well, the nice thing is they have Alabama on standby with tremendous help from that state. That's great. Patriots helping out patriots. Forget the politics during these times, people. You know, people's lives are at stake here. Forget the politics. Let's take care of the people. And I think.
Say that again. I cut you off.
Oh, I don't remember now.
You said, well, Alabama was helping them
Jabber.
out. You said Alabama was
Oh,
going to help
yeah.
them.
Yeah, Patriots are supposed to be helping each other out. Just forget the politics aspect of it. Politics at this time has no bearing either way. Forget that. Let's take care of each other. Worry about people's lives, you know. Yeah, that's what the governor was saying, pretty much. Forget the politics. This is nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, well, hell no. This is funny.
Yeah.
Clueless Comey celebrates, like I was saying earlier, Woodman. Clueless Comey celebrates after getting slammed by the Inspector General. Then Twitter beats him like a rented mule.
Oh, God, I'm
hilarious.
sorry.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. It sure hit my funny bone. Man. I'd sure love to be a fly on the wall. I'm not kidding you, man. That'd be fantastic.
So Clueless Comey celebrates after getting slammed by Inspector General, and then Twitter beats him up like a rented mule. Let me make this a little more readable. All right, so the Justice Department watchdog group on Thursday released a scathing report stating that the former FBI Director James Comey violated FBI policy and his employment agreement with the Bureau with his handling of official memos detailing his interactions with the President Trump, one of which contained classified information. After getting slammed in the report and painted as perhaps the worst FBI director in history, Comey rejoiced and said he was vindicated. He took to Twitter, if I remember correctly. Then he was beaten on Twitter like a rented mule. So DOJ, here's what Comey wrote. DOJ IG, so the Department of Justice Inspector General, found no evidence that Comey or his attorneys released any of the classified information contained in any of the memos to the members of the media. I don't need a public apology from those who defamed me, but a quick message with a, sorry, we lied about you would be nice. Well, why don't you do that for the president, dude?
For
So then he
years
put,
worth.
so, and to all of those who have spent 2 years talking about me going to jail or being a liar and leaker, ask yourself, why will you still trust the people who gave you bad info for so long, including the president? DOJ IG found no evidence. Comey, that this guy put, are you nuts? This other guy, Doc Washburn, are you nuts? And puts a Twitter link here. We have previously, and this is a thing right out of the IG, we have previously faulted Comey for acting unilateral and inconsistent with the department policy. Comey's unauthorized disclosure of sensitive law enforcement information about Flynn's investigation merits similar criticism. In a country built on the rule of law, it is the utmost importance that all FBI employees appear to be adhere to the department and FBI policies, particularly when confronted by what appears to be extraordinary circumstances or compelling personal convictions. Comey had several other lawful options available to him to advocate for an appointment of a special counsel, which he told us his goal in making the disclosure. which was not permitted, was the unauthorized disclosure of sensitive investigative information obtained during the course of the FBI employment in order to achieve a personal desired outcome. Remember, he said he leaked it to his buddy at the college so he would get it to the media in hopes of a special counsel being kind of drafted up. And that's exactly what happened. We got the special counsel on Trump because of Comey leaking. So Comey puts, to all those who spent 2 years talking about me going to jail or being a liar and a leaker, ask yourself, why would you still trust people who give you bad info for so long, including the president? Headline, Comey celebrates being found to the utmost incompetent FBI director in history in the IG report. So another guy puts, you answered, I don't know, I don't recall, and I don't remember 236 times while under oath during one interview related to your role in the Russia collusion hoax, or you are a liar. It seems to be more fitting. This guy puts, Horowitz report states that you set a dangerous example for the men and women who serve in the FBI. Horowitz saying you are unfit to lead. We knew that you would get Wi-Fi to tweet from all the way up in Hillary's ass. Who knew that you would get Wi-Fi to tweet from all the way up in Hillary's ass?
Check that out.
The OIG determined you violated FBI policy and your employment agreement. The damning report says you set a dangerous example for over 35,000 current FBI employees to achieve a personally desired outcome. It's the public, FBI, and president who deserve an apology from you. Hey, dipshit! The IG confirmed your firing was fully justified, and you still have to face FISA abuse. Justice is on your doorstep. There you go. He's gonna have to answer for that. This guy puts Jimbo. The only liar in the scenario goes by the name of Jim. You deserve to be fired, and you are a complete disgrace to our nation. If you're claiming this report as a personal victory, you are also stupid. Comey shows just how sleazy he really is. Read this thread. We'll skip that. Oh, wow. You got away from charges on leaking. Minor for a big ex-authority figure like yourself. Okay, now let's do the FISAs. That's where he's going to go down, folks. That's where they got his ass. Ha, 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 ha. Ask yourself, why you still trust people who give you bad info for so long? Yeah, like Christopher Steele called. He wants his last paycheck from the FBI. Yeah, Christopher Steele called. He wants his last paycheck. There are two standards of justice. Justice for regular people, where robbing a liquor store lands you in jail for decades, and justice for Democrat apparatus, where they can lie under oath, leak classified info, collude to undermine the president, equals a book deal.
You know it. You know it.
Comey, McCabe, Stroke, Page, Lynch, Hillary, Yates, Ower, an entire crooked DOJ is laughing at William Barr. And that is the end of it. I agree. Yeah, I agree with all of that, folks. I mean, that was great. Great.
Yeah.
Shake the house.
That was super funny, man. I tell you. Great way to start the day off with a smile on your face, that's for sure.
Wow, there's 143 people in the room, and that is the Bristol Post's number. Bristol Post 143, folks. Don't miss the Freedom Fest, all right? Freedom Fest 2020. That's all we could really say about it right now. Don't have an exact date. Freedom Fest 2020. Actually, the 9th annual American Freedom Ride in conjunction with / Patriot Hour 1st annual Freedom Festival. 2 days.
Yep. No
agenda. Bunch of patriots hanging out. Music. Food. Events. Flag retirement. Motorcycle 60 mile ride roughly. And just hanging out. If you want to have a few drinks, there's going to be a beer garden. You're going to be hungry. There's going to be food. A band Saturday, possibly a band Friday night, we're working on all kinds of things. So all of you are invited that can make it. Again, yep, right there. Jana, I will be at the Freedom Fest. Yes, she had wrote a letter saying that they will be here. So we already got people lined up coming. And again, it's Friday, so enjoy your Friday, folks. End of a long week for those of you that have been working the traditional. Again, this shirt here, Deplorable Patriot. This comes from Living in America. And I have the actual website somewhere written down here. Dang it. I just cleaned up the room so nice that I moved everything around on myself. That sucks.
Yeah, we got to figure out. We still have to figure out some way of semi-accurate head count, so we can plan. In other words, like we don't want to be set up for like 200 people and 1,000
600.
people.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's not going to work for us. We still have to figure out some way.
When we officially kick this off, I'm going to create an email, and I hope you guys are great, intelligent patriots. So if we can at least, get a heads up, which would be a simple email to this, and I'm going to create a whole new account. It's going to be like, Patriot or a Freedom Fest 2020, something, and you guys will email that saying that you plan on arriving, and if you plan on staying at our actual Legion in a tent or something, or if you got other means, which are local hotels, or there's more proficient campsites too just down the road, a couple of them in Middlebury, KOA, we got EB Pines. I mean, there's several actual physical legit campsites really quickly nearby, or we have our Legion. And exactly the same with RVs. If some of you are traveling in by RV, there are actual true RV parks where you can park and hook up and rent and get power and take a full advantage. Because at our Legion, there's a few RVs that stay there, and there's only a few spots for them to plug in, I believe. And they're probably already spoken for at this point because of the people that are involved with the Legion that need to be there to do things. Some of them actually partake as well with staying, and they're there a few days early, helping get everything rolling and going. So more to come on that. We'll give you dates. We'll give you numbers. We'll get everything officially with that count like Woodman. We got to keep that in mind because we don't want to have... we want to make this as smooth as possible for everybody, right, Woodman? We want to have a good time, but we want to make sure that we're prepared. Right.
The prepared part is the main thing, because if we kick this thing off right, everybody's going to have nothing but a blissful time while they're there. Bring your motorcycle, go for a great ride through the country and stuff. It's fantastic. It should be all escorted, so you wouldn't have any problem with traffic as far as intersections or that matter. It'd be pretty much of a solid roll through. I've done it. Been part of the American Legion Riders for years, and the rides are really pretty nice. They lay them out, and they go out and do at least 2 or 3 pre-rides to make sure that no intersections have any dirt or soft sand or whatever that might cause somebody to wreck. And
you can do this in your vehicle if you want to be involved in your vehicle. Yeah. Vehicles are allowed as well. You're going to be behind everybody, but you're going to be part of the, the brigade.
You know it, man. Yeah. Cars, trucks, whatever you got. But they do clean all the intersections off, so nobody's going to have any problem,
There you go. See, Watchful Warrior is the ALR as well. So Watchful Warrior.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, depending on what if you want to be partake in the ride or not, that's up to you guys completely. It's going to be awesome.
Be like me, biker trash. Be like me,
Now this year I got a lot of footage. Woodman's already seen a preview of one of the mini videos, and this one is just for the Legion people, the riders. I mean, I'll show it to you guys eventually, but I'm almost done. He had got a sneak peek of it, of this past year, this 2019 August that just happened earlier. Greg Fluid Pour was there, Woodman, Ben, Greg's family and kids. Awesome time. Now it was a little, out of all the years I've been there, I think I didn't make it last year, but in the past years, this one was a little weak because of the timing. It was on a weekend where there's other events going on in the same area, other abate rides where half the group that could have been at the Legion ended up doing the abate ride, because that's for a great cause as well, to make sure that the abate keeps going on year after year. Then we had the Legion Ride, and then there was another event, Summerfest. There was Summerfest or something going on, which is another, event for this small area. So that kind of divided people into groups of threes. We hope to see just another bigger turnout next year because of the fact of people from the Patriot Hour coming, and then some of these other events might not coincide with the same weekend that we plan to do it. So again, it's looking like the first weekend of August, or I think the actual Friday is going to like July 31st, and then that next day is Saturday, August 1st, which would be the flag retirement. If not, I think it's supposed to be the weekend after. So again, we're looking at the very beginning, very end of July, one day of it, and then a day of August, or it's going to be the very next weekend. And I know this is end of summer type stuff, right before school's starting. Some schools could be started around the country. Most aren't, but we're close to that. So we'll tell you more as we know it. Biggest thing is, like Woodman said, and I'm with them, this Legion that we've been part of for many, many years, there's been things and times in the past where things weren't so organized, and we don't want to do that. We want to make this streamlined. We want it to work for the Legion so they can benefit, and the veterans organization, Steps for Vets, can benefit. The ALRs can do good and raise some money for their cause. We don't want to have any issues or make it, not good, not fun. We don't want to have that issue for you guys as well. So again, no agendas. It's a couple events. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of hanging out, a lot of talking. We want to do a show Friday night. That is set in stone for a show. And then, with you guys sitting there, we have a huge pavilion. How many picnic tables you say is in this covered pavilion with a roof on it, Woodman? How many? 30 picnic tables? 18, 20 maybe? Yeah, something like that.
Probably 18 to 20, probably, yeah.
Okay.
But then, now, if we need more, we can always put some more out.
Yeah, and then there
the
could always be,
so.
And then the grass kicks off on both sides. So seating, we recommend, like we said, you guys coming into town for this, bring a flag if you got one that needs to be retired. That's like the main thing. Bring a flag with you. Bring, that would be like the main thing. Bring a flag that needs to be retired. So don't go buy one brand new and make it look try to do anything, or if you got one now that's kind of on the fritz, let it fly for the rest of the year and all the way up until August of next year. Take it down and get yourself your new one up. Bring that one with you, and that can be part of the ceremony. I mean, we already always have hundreds and hundreds of flags to get rid of, so it's not that important. It's just if you have one. So.
Or if you know somebody that has a tattered, torn flag, replace it, especially older people. Us old folks, and no kidding, we live on a fixed income. So a lot of people don't have money to throw around. If you know somebody's got one like that, not only is it a great act for the country, but it also inspires something in that person that you had just swapped flags for. That's going to touch his heart also, his or hers, whatever the case may be. That'll touch hearts, man. It's nothing but a positive thing. What's wrong with doing a positive thing, Yeah. Airborne sounds great. Yeah. You betcha.
Oh, yeah. So someone stole my flag. Jeesh. A little capture the flag going on there, old Robin. I'm just joking. That sucks.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I got one to bring in this year already.
All right. Well, we will shut this one down. We're over the hour mark. I recorded this. This is going out to the Patriot Hour, so look for it to be on there. Just as you're seeing it here, just won't be live. But we got to get this information out ×2. That's the whole thing. I'm gonna be going live here every morning, I think, folks, for a while. If there's a day that I don't, it just means I had other things going on. But if we can at least do live 4 to 5 days out of the 7-day week, 7 days total, we're doing good. It helps promote the Patriot Tech with the live, and then I'm getting the show knocked out for the Patriot Hour as well. Double tap. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Other than that, any closing words for the Patriots out there with the weekend coming up, and maybe anything just to promote on the Patriot Freedom Fest? What you got, Woodman?
Well, first and foremost, we need to send a lot of prayers to people who live in Florida, and the surrounding states, because that hurricane doesn't play around. If you know somebody, try and stay in touch with them and see what's going on. If they found shelter, or if they need shelter provided one way or another. It's always better to have more people in one spot hankering down than what it is to be all spread out. In the safest place of all those, we got a dozen people. The safest place out of those 12 people, everybody gets together. Take care of each other. Make sure they have bottled water, because it's going to be terrible. They're going to need food. They're going to need bottled water. They're going to need blankets and stuff, a place to stay. We are probably the only country in the world that actually comes together during these times. We let's say bury the hatchet, so to speak. We forget all of our ins and outs, or his and hers, or whatever. We forget all the politics, the whole ball of wax. Now we're talking about saving lives, which is tremendous. Be a patriot and save somebody's life. Help them out. Well, about the thing in 2020, we've got a long time to talk about it. We still have to figure out. The main thing is to figure out how many people is going to be there, so we know how to plan. Mike and Ben and I hope Scott, maybe, I know Greg from New York's going to be there. We'll all help out. The mods are going to help out too. Now, these mods do a tremendous job. I have never met one face to face. I don't know much about any one of them, actually, but they do a tremendous job, people. And Mike has an easier time pulling off a show with support like that, that way he can focus on what he wants to focus on 100%, instead of like being sidetracked a lot.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty much all I got to say. Mike, you do a great job, and God bless you. And
real quick, I think Face was a mod on the Patriot Hour. Let me know. I just made her a mod here. I don't know if we have any buddy else that comes over from the Patriot Tech or the Patriot Hour that was a mod there that's not a mod here, to let me know. But yeah, no, exactly. We know who's coming. We got people like Watchful Warrior. I know the mods are coming. They will help in this next year do what they can do from a distance to help prepare for when they're coming. Folks, we got tons of things lined up. Like I said, I got a live streaming camera now, a GoPro 7 Pro that's going to be able to, at certain points of the activities, we'll go around and get interviews and talk with people. It's all going to be live. It's going to be great. You guys are going to be actually get to be on the Patriot Hour, Patriot Tech, whatever's going on at that point. So yeah, any of you that are eligible to be a Legion member and you haven't in years, if you want to be a Legion member, you can also get a hold of this Legion and be a member at this Legion. The memberships are good for any legions in the country at that point. There are activities and things Friday night. We have a huge drawing for things that you'd have to be a member to be part of. That's on the inside of the Legion. It is going to be open to the public, so anybody there for this weekend is going to be able to take advantage of inside the Legion, outside the Legion, the grounds, all of it. Like we said, camping out, indoor for karaoke the Friday night, or outdoor for the band, multiple things. Kids are welcome on the inside up till 9 o'clock, I believe. It's a non-smoking Legion, so on the inside, we got a place on the outside that you can smoke in that's covered, or you can just smoke out in the fields, or around the areas. Be courteous of others. If you don't drink, it's not a huge drinking fest. I'm just saying, if you want to have a few drinks, there's a beer garden outside, there's a bar on the inside. Other than that, there's water, soda, juices. You can bring whatever for camping as well. The commander had said, hey, I don't mind if you have a cooler, and you get some sodas and waters in there, maybe even some beer. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'm going to shut this one down. Woodman, awesome show this morning. Thank you for joining. Like I said, we're going to be doing this. Ben's going to be on. Woodman's going to be on. We're going to be doing this. I'll be on by myself sometimes when they're unavailable. We're going to be doing this most mornings. Share the videos across all your social media platforms, folks. We appreciate it. help get the word out. And Woodman, brother, see you here on the next
Airborne,
Patriot
my
Hour.
brother.
God bless, brother, and God bless all of you patriots. God bless and
Amen.
Godspeed. All right?
Amen.
We'll see you guys.
Amen. Amen.
All right, you guys, stick around. I'll play this again one last time. Put your lights on. This is a Amy the Mod mix video that I made 6 months ago. She had really wanted to hear it. I don't see her here this morning. But this is actually Put Your Lights On. Put Your Everlasting Lights On is like I like to call it. Put Your Everlasting Lights On, because this is by Everlast. Amy the Mod mix.
Hey now, all you sinners, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you lovers, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you killers, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Here now, all you children, leave your lights on. Leave your lights on, 'cause there's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel with a hand on my head. Say I got nothing to fear. There's a darkness that's living deep in my soul. Still got a purpose to serve. So let your light shine deep into my hole. God, don't let me lose my nerve. Don't let me lose my nerve. Hey now, hey now. Ooh, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Are you a sinner? Put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you children, leave your lights on. Leave your lights on. There's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel